Hello and welcome to another episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name is Jacob and today I've got another unboxing video. So yeah, this has been a recurring theme on my channel. Yeah, I know like most of my videos are unboxing videos, but very recently I've just gotten like a bunch of stuff in the mail, which is really awesome because I had some fun on AliExpress and eBay getting some like bootlegs from China. Because a lot of people don't really talk about those, and I figured that was a good thing to talk about to give you guys some context and, you know, just to learn about this sort of stuff and all of that jazz. So yeah, we're about to get started, but first of all I want to say I am sorry if I look like I've been in a sauna for 2 weeks. It is so hot in here today, oh my god. For those of you who don't know, I live in Australia and it is summer and it is brutal. Absolutely brutal. It is like somewhere between 30 and 40 degrees Celsius, not bloody well Fahrenheit, because that would be quite nice. But yeah, let's actually I have no idea what that would be, but I know it's a lot less. But yeah, let's get right into it. So we got this thing. It can already feel that it's packaged up with some like air bubble wrap typey stuff. Just plain plastic, very similar to other recent figures, how they arrived. So I'm just going to use my knifey wifey and we're just going to slice open this thing and hopefully not damage what's inside. There we go. Okay. Next layer. Don't worry guys, I can feel that we're just slicing into the foam bubble wrap stuff. Yeah, so it is just foam here. I'll put my knifey down. Okay, what's in the foam? What is in... There we go. We got a bootleg Kiryu Bandai vinyl figure. Let's take a look. So this was the cheapest one I could find on eBay. Really cheap for a figure like this. It cost me like 13 Australian dollars. That's like 10 bucks for you guys in America, or less, maybe like 9. Our exchange rate's pretty garbage for you guys. But yeah, I wanted to see what, like, I have some pretty decent Kiryu figures. Actually, we got this one that came in recently, which was that big bootleg Bandai King series vinyl, and actually I love this thing. It is such a great figure. It cost me like 30 bucks Australian, and it is so goddamn awesome. I love this thing. And of course I have the Monster Arts, which is one of the most gorgeous figures in my entire collection, and one of the most gorgeous Monster Arts figures on the market there. So yeah, I didn't really have a motive to get this one other than it was so cheap, and I just wanted to see what it was like and do a little video on it for you guys. So yeah, let's take a look at him. So first of all, he is quite a small figure, even for a Bandai vinyl. Like, he is small and he feels really soft. So he is in reality a sofubi, which is Japanese for a soft vinyl figure. So he's very much a soft vinyl figure. Already his legs are feeling really wobbly, so he does feel cheap. Bear that in mind. However, like most of these figures, the sculpt actually looks pretty decent on him. If we can actually try and get him to pose better, because he's posed really retardedly at the moment. He looks kind of scrunched up. And it feels like the paint or something may have made it hard for his joints to move, but usually, from experience, if you just kind of be a little aggressive with them, you can kind of... There we go. You can get him to move. Also, by the hand, I can also tell that this guy is the one from Tokyo SOS, the second movie to feature Kiryu, because he has that sort of modified arm here with the little sort of drill hand thing. Same with my Monster Arts. It happens to be the Tokyo SOS one, not the original Godzilla against MechaGodzilla one from 2002, I believe. So yeah, he's the same one as this guy, but he is different than this guy who doesn't have that mechanical arm thing. So just to kind of show you guys, you can see there on his shoulder he has like that sticky outy bit which has a bit of a motor in there, and his hand's kind of weird compared to his other one. I mean, it's not really as visible on this figure as the Monster Arts, but definitely the shoulder you can tell. Whereas this guy, on that same shoulder, it should be this shoulder, he just has it smoothed over. It's identical to the other shoulder. So this is the earlier version of him, and Oh, this figure is so gorgeous. I even love the silver they used on him. Whereas this guy is definitely a lot more cheap. He has a much more aluminium type silver, so it's a little bit brighter. Whereas this guy is more of like that gunmetal gray, sort of more worn, darker silver. And I just love this big cheap King Series Kiryu. He's a good one. I recommend this one. This one though, do I recommend him? Okay, let me just play around with him for a sec and I'll talk you through what I'm thinking. Sculpt, pretty decent. No real complaints here. The sculpt is really nice on this guy, just as I was, hoping for and somewhat expecting. But like I said, the paintwork on him is about the same as the King series, a bit less actually because he is smaller. But my main sort of complaint about this guy would be he feels kind of floppy. Especially like his knees here, they kind of... I'll just show you because what's the point of a video if you can't see? So you can see here his knees are kind of like floppy woppy, so that's not that great. This can twist real easy. His other one is a bit more firm, but this one's kind of loose feeling. So once you break those seals on the arms, and all the joints seem to move really well now, which is all great. His head can do the MechaGodzilla spinny thing, which is pretty cool. So yeah, let's take a look at his details up close. So you see, he looks really good. Got that classic Kiryu look, the beautiful yellow eyes and that intense glare of his face. Very menacing, I love that. Kiryu is a beautiful design. He's just top-notch MechaGodzilla, you know. If they do put a MechaGodzilla, because I've heard rumors in the new Godzilla vs. Kong film, I hope they can do a design as cool as this one, because so far, the 74, my favorite design. Kiryu, close second. I adore this design, and I love that he's based upon the original skeleton of the 54 Godzilla, which I will actually compare him to the Monster Arts just as a size thing so we can kind of see what he looks like with a Monster Arts. And actually he might scale a little better with this one because it's meant to be the same skeleton. Pretty close. The head is smaller on this guy than this one, so the skull kind of being inside there, I'm not sure if that really works out. If we just get our Monster Arts Kiryu next to this guy, I don't know, either will work. They're so close in size that it's fine. Paint-wise, again, pretty basic. I really implore you guys, if you are getting bootleg figures, think of them as just really cheap vinyl kits that you can experiment with painting and modifying and all that sort of stuff. This one will be kind of hard to modify in any other way than painting it, just because he's so floppy. The vinyl really is soft on this guy, but I think painting him up would be a really good idea. But yeah, I have no complaints with the sculpt on him or anything like that. I think for the price, this is well worth it, as I've said with most of these figures. So you're not going to get the top quality, and you definitely aren't going to get like QC, a good quality control with these things, but you're not really throwing away that much, and you could get lucky and get something pretty nice. So I actually do recommend this guy. But yeah, let's, I should have left that sentiment for my conclusion, but, because I do still want to show him off a little bit longer first. So, but forget about that. So there we go. We can get a nice sense of the detailing up close, and you can kind of see where the paintwork is at. So there's a lot of spaces that should have black paint in them that aren't painted in. It would be nice to see some shading done on the metallic spots, maybe like a wash of black paint over him would be really nice. And do be aware, if you are painting these figures, use paint that will stick to vinyl. Some sort of like model kit paint is recommended. Don't use like your typical sort of acrylic, water-based acrylic paint that you'd use to, paint canvases with, because that stuff is garbage for purposes like that. Although this figure is cheap, so if you just want to cheap out on paint and don't care if it rubs off instantly, then go for it. But if I were doing this, I'd use the appropriate paints and all that. And I think this guy could be really great, because like I said, the sculpt is just phenomenons on this guy. I'm sorry, I'll never say that word again. But yeah, I do love him. The same with the King series. His tail is completely unpainted. I don't know what these bootleg companies have against putting paint on that's in between all the bits in his tail, because that was another issue I had with this King Series one. Not a big one, because again, this figure is so gorgeous. I love it. But it is missing paint in his tail. But again, from the get-go, I knew this figure was going to have paint issues to begin with, so that was, you know, all fine. Also, one thing that this little one does better than this big one is the spines, I think. Especially in the area just here. There's this kind of big gap here where where these two spines should be closer together, because there's a bit of empty space here. Whereas on this one, they're kind of pushed closer together and they're more appropriately sized, and he kind of feels better proportioned than this big one. Whereas this big one just has, you know, better paint, and the scale and detail thing is really good on this guy. So, just to give you an idea, again, this guy cost me like $13. This guy costs like $30 odd. I don't remember if that included postage or if I had to pay extra, but, you know, you can get 3 of these crappy things and 1 of these awesome things. So yeah, that's probably it for my little unboxing of this Kiryu figure. I like him. He's pretty good. He's a little bit on the short side again for a Bandai vinyl. Like, I'll just bring in a typical Bandai vinyl. So we got our Bandai Creations 74 MechaGodzilla. Pretty good figure. And Kiryu is, again, just a tiny bit shorter than him, so he does feel a little bit smaller than I was expecting. But he is a beautifully detailed figure, very poorly painted and sort of crappy materials, but he does the job. So yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like and or subscribble, because it's always really awesome when you guys do that. And that's the end of the video. May all your vinyl be radiated vinyl. Over and out!